If the space of a travel trailer is just not quite cutting it for you, there are some fifth wheel RV options out here like this one that will give you a lot more space inside, will actually shorten your overall towing length, and will be right about the same price as a travel trailer. So let's go take a look. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Miles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here at Blue Compass RV today in San Marcos, California. They have another location in Santee as well. You can see it is a pretty dang big lot here, and they also have Airstreams at this location as well in San Marcos. So really cool store, a bunch of motorhomes as well, a lot of Newmar products here. So tons of stuff to take a look at. And if you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the comments and description of this video, as Blue Compass RV has over 100 different dealership locations across the United States, across 33 different states. So we're all over the place and ready, willing, and eager to help you out when you're ready to find your next RV. So use that link down below to find a location close to you. Now this here is the Grand Design Reflection in their 100 series. It is the 28 RL. So this is going to be Grand Design Reflection's smallest fifth wheel RV offerings. This isn't their smallest floor plan, but it is in their smallest size fifth wheel RV. Now with that being said, this still has a hitch weight here that is almost 1,400 pounds. That's gonna mean that you're still gonna want a 3/4 ton truck at least to tow something like this. And that is because of the hitch weight and how that is directly correlated to the cargo or payload capacity on your truck, how you don't want to overload that weight there. But other than that, it's a pretty modest size fifth wheel RV. And when it comes to comparing like your travel trailers with fifth wheel RVs, there's a lot of advantages to the fifth wheel options. Now, some people feel limited going to a fifth wheel because you do need that bigger truck. I wouldn't recommend towing any fifth wheel RV with a half-ton truck, but there are a lot of travel trailers that you certainly can tow with a half-ton truck. So once you go up into a 3/4 ton truck, you're really stuck between a lot of travel trailer and fifth wheel RV options. So let's talk about some of the advantages to a fifth wheel RV before we hop inside. First of all, on the length on these models here, so you can see like this says a 28 RL. The reason that they usually use those numbers, because if we come over here, I don't know if we'll have the length specs on the sticker inside of here. Let's see if we have it. Yeah, we do. Okay. You can see it's 32 inches total length, or not 32 inches, goodness, 32 feet total length on this with a 2,381 pound cargo carrying capacity. So 32 foot total length on this fifth wheel RV. However, the reason they put the 28 number on here is because that 28 number is going to be your feet typically in towing length. So you're going to have this entire portion of the fifth wheel RV from here forward, all sitting over the bed of your truck, which it means you're only towing about 28 feet of trailer behind the truck, versus if you're towing a 32 foot travel trailer, you're towing all 32 feet of that travel trailer behind the truck there, making it just a much longer box that you're towing. There's an advantage to that because you do maintain the full use of your truck bed, whereas this is going to sit over the truck bed, so you can't really load any cargo into the truck bed. That's going to sit higher than this point right here, is that part will swivel around and you don't want it to get in the way of any of those components there. So there is that disadvantage, but you're certainly towing a shorter distance with a fifth wheel RV. You also get a better turn radius with a fifth wheel RV as well. So actually a pretty significant better turn radius on that. So those are some advantages on the towing side with a fifth wheel RV. And then obviously overall it is a much bigger space, much taller. And this here is gonna be right in the $45,000 to $55,000 price range, which is where a lot of travel trailer RVs will fall in. In fact, the Grand Design Reflection travel trailers oftentimes are more expensive than what these Reflection fifth wheels are in their 100 series. So some different distinct advantages with a fifth wheel RV like this. Now, as we step inside, you have opposing slide outs on this Reflection. They also have a 1-year base warranty, 3-year structural, and new 5-year frame warranty that are all transferable. Does not have a shade already installed on the window, so that is something you could install if you want that. And then you have the screen defender here to protect your screen from any pets or anything like that. Now, as we step inside, pretty interesting floor plan layout in here. I really like it, but there are some people that maybe this floor plan may not work out for. Mostly people that want your windows on the campsite. So you can see there are no windows on your campsite here on this floor plan. You do have windows all along your back wall and then all along your non-campsite. So still good window coverage. And sometimes this is all just kind of preferential, and it can depend on the campsite you're at, whether this is a good thing or a bad thing. So I think about like the campsite that I'm at right now, all of my neighbors are actually on my campsite, and then I'm back in the corner. So I actually don't have a neighbor in my back corner on this side, so I get a nice view out of my non-campsite windows. But sometimes people really do want that window coverage on the campsite so they can look out into their campsite, whereas this is only going to have this window here to look out into the campsite and then that window on that side of the slide out. But aside from that, if you can live with that, this is a really great floor plan to look at because of all the floor space that you get in this model. You get an electric fireplace here as well, a TCL TV that looks like it's about a 32-inch screen TV, although it does look like it could possibly fit a slightly larger TV in this space. And then you have shelves back behind there that might be able to fit like a 36-inch screen TV maybe, but it's not like the biggest TV space ever. Not a huge deal. If I'm sitting on these recliners, that TV feels adequate in size. It just might feel small to you if you're used to like a big 75-inch screen TV or maybe even like a 65-inch screen TV in your living room at home. Obviously in the space in here, you can see compared to a travel trailer, the ceiling height is just so much taller than what you'll get in a travel trailer. So you really feel more at home in a fifth wheel RV like this. So that's something that draws a lot of people to a fifth wheel over a travel trailer. As we come back this way, along this wall, you have pull down black pleated shades on the windows. So these are going to offer full privacy. However, they do let in a little bit of natural light during the day. You have your booth seat here, and it does have these metal latches to hold this backrest in place because this bottom part is fully removable. So it does kind of double as an ottoman. You can see how this will lift up, and you can use this either as the bench for your booth area, or you can use it as a footrest in this space. You can use it as storage in the floor space there. And then really like the look of the chairs that are coming in this dining area here. A little bit more of a customized look. Definitely different than anything else I've seen in any other fifth wheel RVs in terms of just the overall design and aesthetic on these chairs. And as far as comfort goes, pretty dang comfortable too. They are much more on the firm side, I would say, but other than that, the ergonomics of it and just like how wide the base of the seat is, the backrest is all very supportive and just feels very comforting in that sense. The cushioning is just a little bit on the firm side. This table does have a pin that will allow it to rotate around, so it's currently in the desk position. You can swivel it around to make it more like a traditional dining table though, so you do have that option for both in that space. Coming along this side, you have your two recliners here, and I love how they did this because they have the flip-up armrest here in the middle with the cup holders, USB Type A, two USB Type A ports on this spot here, no USB Type C. And then this can flip up, so when you do want to have the ability to cuddle or maybe have a pet snuggle up next to you or just lay down with your legs kind of scrunched up and take a nap, you can do all of those things here. They are pull strap recliners, so you pull on that strap right there and they kick up on the legs, lay down almost flat here, and they are part of that Thomas Paine collection of furniture that we see in a lot of RVs. Another thing on these Grand Design Reflection models is down underneath the slide out flooring, you do have this layer of foil insulation underneath here. It doesn't have the air pockets in it, but it is some degree of insulation nonetheless. So it's just basically like a foil layer of insulation there. And then as we come this way, you have your storage up above this space. This is a sofa that will pull out and make into a bed. No seams in the cushions here, so it does offer a little bit more comfort on this. Plus, ooh, this is a very squishy sofa. Like, oh, it's bouncy. Wow. Okay, let me show y'all a couple things here. So get the camera set up for y'all. Rotate this down. And first of all, when I sat down on it, it has like just a natural kind of springy feel to it a little bit. So some people I think will really like that. It definitely feels soft. You can see kind of allows you to lay out and take a nap, but not really at the same time. This is not a wide body fifth wheel, so it's 96 inches wide, whereas your bigger fifth wheel RVs will be 100 or 101 inches wide, which will give you a little bit more width. The side tables here obviously kind of condensing down the sofa a little bit as well. But this will also pull out and make into a bed, so if you do ever have guests, maybe you have grandchildren coming along with you or anything like that, you're able to pull this out here, drop the legs down, and you're going to have a mattress here that will be a bed that pretty much anybody can sleep on. I mean, I would be able to plenty comfortably sleep on this and wouldn't be too big of an issue. So I actually don't, that's actually, I mean, fairly comfortable. It's really not bad at all. And especially thinking about if you're gonna have kids in this space, they will have no problem with that whatsoever, I wouldn't think. So that is how that will make into a bed here. Put these cushions back on, and it's really as simple as that. It's not too difficult. Get back behind the camera here. Show you the storage up in this space. So we have solid wood cabinet doors. That's where too you might find a difference with some other products out there like Grand Design. Imagine, for instance, their Imagine travel trailers are going to have a wrapped cabinet door here, whereas these are solid stained wood. So a little bit of an upgrade in quality on that. Soft close on these two, and these are a tinted glass cabinet door. And then the storage around your sofa, you can see you have these big cubby areas there for storage. Would be nice to have like some sort of blocker there to, like just a little rubber pad to block that from damaging right here. And then you have an outlet down under there on both sides. Fireplace going to be an electric heat source for you with that. So nice electric heat source so you don't have to use as much propane on your furnace when you need heat. Traditional plywood drawer construction with staples to hold that all in place. And then again, your storage behind the TV. You got storage all around the TV here with your JBL sound controls. And then you have an outlet back behind here as well. And storage space down through here. Now going back into the kitchen, we have a wrapped countertop material. So unlike the higher end fifth wheel RVs that will sell in the much higher price ranges with the solid surface countertops, this is gonna have a wrapped countertop material. Not a big deal. My travel trailer has the same style countertops. All it means is that I just do my best to try to prevent any moisture from getting like down underneath the sublayer of this countertop material. Biggest way to do that is just like make sure that your silicone seams here around the sink and stuff like that are just staying intact, and if there are ever any ways that you see that starting to peel or crack or anything, just to fill those in so that water and moisture doesn't get down up underneath there. No heat vents in the floor, so they're running the heating underneath the island. Outlet on this side as well. And then you have a large stainless steel sink here in the island, drop down faucet. And then here through this space, we have 3 drawers for storage. And under the sink, wide open storage space underneath here. There are not individual shutoff valves on the water lines though. So that would just mean if you do have some sort of water leak, it is going to require shutting off the water to the entire camper to stop that leak from continually going while you fix it. Have your 12-volt Furrion refrigerator and freezer. Now another critique with this floor plan, I can already tell without doing much else, is that there is going to be a degree of this refrigerator being blocked by the island when you close this slide. So you can see this slide out. It comes in about probably 2 feet or so, and it looks like it's going to go right up against this island right here, which is going to block that access. All that means is you're going to have to open up this slide out for about 5 to 6 seconds or so for it to be opened enough for you to get into that refrigerator if that's something that's really important to you. I don't think that necessarily has to be a deal breaker, but if you do want a floor plan that makes sure that no matter what, you don't have to move the slide outs whatsoever to get into the refrigerator, then you can look at a different floor plan if that's something that is really important. And mind you, as I show you guys these camper tours, we have a traditional RV size microwave. I just try to show you the most information that most often gets requested that people want. And it's not my job here to try to push you in one direction or another on what to buy. I just want you to have the most informed information possible so that you can make the best informed decision for yourself and feel confident when you go to purchase an RV. So if you appreciate that here, let me know down below in the comments, or just subscribe to the channel. That's definitely the biggest way that you can help support what I do here. Nice big pots and pans drawer down underneath the oven. Does have a standard RV size oven, nothing crazy there. Pretty much same size you'll find with a travel trailer as well. Let's see, they have this couple different things they're talking about here with their Curt suspension. Looks like a tire pressure monitoring system, or anti-lock braking system there as well. We'll look at that when we go outside. Have a 3-burner gas stove. Outlet here. Vent fan to vent out smells while you're cooking. And another bit of storage right there. Soft close cabinet doors again, in case you missed that. And as you come over here, you have this coffee bar area. We have the floor plan layout here so we can look at it more specifically. Nothing too, 40-inch TV is what's there. Okay, so that is a 40-inch screen TV. I'm so bad about recognizing TV sizes. But a 40-inch screen TV on that. Tank capacities on here as well, want to point that out. 55-gallon freshwater, 78-gallon gray water, and 39-gallon wastewater on this fifth wheel RV. Also has a standard residential queen-size bed. Storage space all around this area. Always liking these fifth wheel RVs, just the amount of additional storage you get in these kinds of spaces for all kinds of different things that you might want to use this space for. Then you can do air fryers here, coffee makers, different things like that. Drawer here, you can see how deep those drawers go. Same thing here, as these are just a little bit wider. And then you have little cubby storage there and breakers down underneath there. 2 outlets in this space. AC controls. You have 12-volt heat pads on the water tanks. That's another thing that might make this an advantage over some other travel trailers that may not have the electric 12-volt heat pads on the water tanks. You don't always necessarily need these, because when you turn your furnace on, as long as you have an enclosed underbelly, pretty much any travel trailer with an enclosed underbelly, the furnace is going to keep those water lines and water tanks from freezing. The 12-volt heat pads really help when you're going and driving down the road with water in your tanks and it might be closer to below freezing temperatures, and you want to keep those tanks warm and prevent them from freezing when you won't have your furnace on, because you're not supposed to run anything with propane while you're driving down the road. Or if you're just in really, really cold temperatures, then that can just be another added reinforcement to help keep those tanks warm. Steps going up into the bathroom, you have your grab handle right here, and as we step into the bathroom can be a little bit underwhelming. It's just like a traditional fifth wheel RV bathroom. However, the ceiling height in here is fantastic. So right away, a point where I feel a lot of restriction in RVs, especially fifth wheel RVs. You get into this upper deck, you step up into this area. Being 6'1", my head oftentimes will hit this entry door right here. So this is probably right at about 6'3", it feels like, so I don't have to duck at all to get underneath here, which I love that. Which also means when I step into the shower, oh yeah, that is fantastic. Look at how high the shower head sits. This is a great option for people looking for a taller shower. You could probably be about 6'6", maybe, and fit inside of here before you'll have to start ducking. So really, really good option for anyone 6'5" and under. And right at my height, about 6'1", 6'2", it's incredibly comfortable. You have the glass shower doors here. It is a plastic 2-piece shower. Good base though, plenty of floor space inside of there. And again, just love how high the shower head sits, and you can see it is a bigger shower head. You also have the light here directly in the bathroom space. So you do have, or in the shower space, I mean, so you have a artificial light source in there. Because a lot of campers you step into, it's just a skylight in there, which looks great during the day, but if you're showering at night, there's obviously no natural light coming in through that skylight. You have a smaller vent fan here in the bathroom, and then you have some shelving space here, spot to hang your towels. Something that I think often gets overlooked is if you have longer towels that hang anywhere below, maybe like, you know, like for instance, my wife and I, we use these Venture towels, I believe they're called. They're like a quicker drying sort of towel, and they're a little bit oversized. And mind you, I could just get more residential style towels, but the towels we have, they hang pretty dang low, which put it like right in the splash zone of the toilet. So that's just something to be aware of. What I would probably do with the larger towels we have is I'd probably put some hooks right here and hang them right in this space. Maybe even right here, but that would be the most practical area. Right here we have liquefied. This is a black tank treatment you can get for your RV. They have it on Amazon, and it's also on Blue Compass RV shelves across the country now. So Blue Compass has over 100 stores across the United States. Many of them have parts departments where you can find liquefied. They have it in the pods formula, liquid formula, and in the powder formula. So you can check that out. That's going to make sure your black tank drains out properly and that everything stays smelling fresh. You have a porcelain foot flush toilet there. It does have an individual shutoff valve to that toilet line, which is nice. And there is a heat vent back behind the toilet there. Turning around this way, you have a really large plastic bowl sink in this bathroom. Medicine cabinet storage, tankless on-demand water heater. Safety light right here, so that will just be a motion activated light. And then down underneath here, oh, it does have individual shut-off valves on these water lines as well, down under there. So that is nice to see. I just didn't see them in the kitchen space, but glad to see them here in the bathroom area right there. So very nice with that. And then you have 3 drawers here that look like they are all identical in size with a toilet paper holder that can be mounted anywhere in here. The best spot honestly might be inside of this cabinet door, or yeah, probably inside the cabinet door. That's most likely where I would put it. You could also put it on this wall if you wanted, but it'd kind of be in your way a little bit. Then we go back into the bedroom. I can't tell you how much it just excites me that I don't have to duck going in and out of these doorways in here. I'm so used to it, I just kind of naturally do it, but I don't have to in this fifth wheel. Residential queen size bed. It does have a very basic mattress, like as basic as they come. So if you want to replace that, very easy to do, is it's just a residential queen size. Love the look of the north to south facing looking bedrooms and these reflections, really well thought out. Nice light features here. You have your storage right here and a little bit more cubby storage right there. Now, because this is a very condensed fifth wheel RV with storage underneath this space, you can see you have a tiered step system up in this area. You also have a slanted down ceiling in this area, but not a big deal because your ceiling height is all the way maintained up until you take a step past the bed area. So then from there you can just get in bed, and if you're, you know, any taller than what this area restricts, you won't ever really feel that much because you can just be sitting on the bed. Then the majority of your wardrobe storage is right here. So you have your clothing rod there. The only thing this does not have, if it's like a real want for you, is washer dryer connections. So little cubby storage down underneath there. Now that's not a deal breaker for me. I know for some people it is, but for me it is not, and let me tell you why. I have been traveling full time over the summer in my Delta travel trailer from Alliance, and I do not have washer dryer connections in there. And again, like I said, I'm traveling full time. I've been in my camper now for well over a month. I think I'm hitting like the 6-week point. I've never found going and doing laundry to be that difficult at all. Like, it's very simple. I usually get it done in less than 2 hours. It's usually about an hour to maybe an hour and 20 minutes tops. See your storage space underneath there. Struts lift that bed up nice and easy. Although if you do replace the mattress, sometimes a new mattress will be heavier than what those struts can support. So that's something to be aware of. It's been super simple. If you're gonna stay at RV parks, especially, like if that's the primary spot that you'll be staying, most RV parks have laundry facilities on site. And if not, you can always go to a laundromat and just knock out your laundry in a couple hours and be done with it. And then maybe do it again in like 2 weeks or 10 days or whatever it may be. Outlets and USB ports there. The other thing to mention too is when you do get fifth wheel RVs or any RVs that have washer and dryer connections and you install a washer and dryer, they are much smaller washer and dryer units than what you see in like a laundromat, for instance. So you have to do a lot more loads of laundry with those washers and dryers than you would just going to a laundromat. But that's pretty much everything inside. So curious your thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Again, price on this is gonna be somewhere right in that like $45,000 to $55,000 mark. Let's go finish up wrapping around the outside. On the outside here, they're using this Lippert Slim Rack slide mechanism. It's basically like, I've heard it called like a power glide slide mechanism. It operates similar to a Schwintek slide, but these have a little bit more forgiveness in them from how I've heard it explained. So it doesn't have as like significant of a failure rate that might have been seen in like a Schwintek slide mechanism. See these on a lot of Class A motorhomes as well. Under here, you can see your ABS system on the wheels. Comes with a Goodyear Endurance tire in the MORryde CRE 3000 suspension system. Also has this upgraded little part right there, the frame that extends across to the other side of the axles. That's just added strength and rigidity to the overall running gear here in this area. Has a 4-point electric auto leveling system down underneath here. Propane quick connect line, so you can connect a grill or griddle to that. Spot to store a sewer hose under here. Again, fully enclosed underbelly down underneath there. And then as we come along the back, you have a ladder to get up onto the roof. You can tow off the back of this camper. So it does have a 3,000 pound rated hitch here, or you can put an accessory rack there. Prep to add a backup camera. Let's hop up on the roof real quick and see what's going on there. Also have brake and reverse lights on the back of this fifth wheel. Not all fifth wheel RVs will have reverse lights on them. 2 Furrion air conditioners. This is a 15,000 BTU AC. And then that has a 180 watt solar panel up here on the roof. Also keep in mind, as an RV owner, very important to come and check the seals and seams on your RV from day one, because that is the only thing that you really need to do to prevent a roof leak from occurring, is just frequently checking these. If you don't do that, you have a much higher chance of a roof leak occurring. And if you do check those and maintain those and make sure if there's any sort of fracture or bubbling or holes that occur or anything like that, you can pretty much prevent any roof leaks by just monitoring that and checking those frequently. That is something that I do on my travel trailer almost every single trip that I'm on, or what equals out to usually about every 2 weeks. I'm checking the roof and just making sure everything is good and maintained. And then if you go to my RVs Are Junk segments on my YouTube channel, you can kind of see that process of me inspecting my roof and different things that I'm doing to my RV to make sure that damage doesn't occur over time. Last thing, you have your slide out here. This is going to be a through frame rack and pinion style slide out on this larger slide. Along this side, tankless water heater, 50 amp power connection. Your dump valves come out of this one spot right here, and the actual valve connections are up under the underbelly. So where the black and gray tank valves open up are actually in the enclosed climate controlled area, so they don't freeze. That's pretty nice. A lot of travel trailers are not going to have that. A lot of travel trailers will actually have the valve connections out here exposed. So that does have a potential for freezing at that point there. So that's something where this kind of has an advantage as well. Now it does have a black cap here, so you want to make sure those valves are closed before you open that up, or get a clear cap to replace that. Light here so you can see what you're doing in darker conditions. And then you have your water connections all through here with your black and gray tank pull valves, outdoor shower connections, and you have an aluminum frame, welds on both sides of the frame connections, climate controlled space through here, and a rubberized flooring in this area to keep it nice and protected there with your auto leveling controls here. 2 30-pound propane bottles, one on each side of this fifth wheel. And then the last thing I really like about this fifth wheel RV, it has a strut assisted door here with slam latches on it. So no metal latches to mess with. This thing will just slam shut on its own. Really thick baggage door as well, thicker than a lot of others. 60 amp solar charge controller, spot for your batteries there. You have your battery disconnect box as well. And then this all can just slam shut. So much easier than dealing with the little metal clips. Has a pretty standard pin box, no like real shock absorption or anything from this pin box, but that's what it comes with standard on these smaller, more affordable models. And then that is pretty much it. So very curious your thoughts. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and let me know if you would choose a travel trailer or a fifth wheel RV like this one here and why that would be. That's all I got for y'all. Appreciate you watching. If you're looking for your next RV, there's a link down below in the comments and description where you can find over 100 different Blue Compass stores across the country where you can find your next RV. We're ready and excited to help you out when you're ready. And that's all I got for y'all. Until next time, live firmly unbound.